All right, we're back and ready to dive in. This time, we're tackling cloud financials.
Specifically, that optimized phase everyone's buzzing about.
Yeah.
Where you're past the initial cloud setup and you're looking to, well,
Make those cloud dollars really count.
exactly. And lucky for us, we've got a real pro in the house to guide us.
Happy to be here. Yeah, the optimized phase, that's where things get interesting. It's not just about using the cloud anymore, it's about using it smart.
Totally.
Oh,
We've got a handle on what we're using the cloud for. Now it's all about fine-tuning.
exactly. It's about squeezing every ounce of value out of your cloud investments.
And from what I've gathered, there are two big buckets we're talking about here. Optimizing resources and optimizing rates.
You got it. Those are the two main pillars of cloud optimization. You got to look at how you're using your resources and how you're paying for them.
So let's start with optimizing resources. What does that really mean in practice?
Well, imagine this. You've got a company, let's call them Data Dynamics, and they're hosting their entire customer database on a massive cloud server, way bigger than they actually need.
Okay, so they're paying for all this capacity they're not even using.
Precisely. That's like buying a jumbo jet when all you need is a scooter to get around town. It's overkill.
So how we right-size that? What's the equivalent of swapping the jumbo jet for a scooter?
That's where right-sizing comes in. It's about making sure your cloud resources match your actual needs. So for Data Dynamics, instead of that massive server, they might be better off with a smaller instance, something that aligns with their actual database usage.
Makes sense. And I imagine there are tools and strategies to help companies figure out what size they actually need.
Absolutely. Cloud providers offer all sorts of cool tools for monitoring your resource utilization. You can see exactly how much compute power, storage, and bandwidth you're actually using at any given time.
So you're not just guessing. You've got data to back it up.
Data is king, right? And once you have that data, you can start making informed decisions about right-sizing. Maybe you downsize that server, maybe you switch to a different pricing model, maybe you implement auto-scaling so your resources adjust automatically based on demand.
Auto-scaling, that sounds pretty high-tech.
It's pretty slick. Basically, it allows your cloud resources to expand or contract automatically based on real-time needs. Say Data Dynamics gets a surge in website traffic during a big sale.
Their servers automatically scale up to handle the load.
You got it. And then, once the traffic dies down, the resources scale back down to avoid unnecessary costs. It's like having a magic server that adjusts itself on the fly.
That's amazing. So we've tackled right-sizing. Now let's talk about the other big piece, optimizing rates. Because even if you've got the right resources, you still want to make sure you're paying the best possible price.
Absolutely. And this is where things can get a little complicated because cloud pricing is, shall we say, multifaceted.
It's a jungle out there. When I was doing my research for this episode, I kept coming across terms like reserved instances and savings plans, and frankly, my head started to spin.
It's a lot to wrap your head around. Let's try to break it down. Imagine reserved instances, or RISE for short, like buying a season pass to your favorite amusement park.
Okay, I'm listening.
You pay upfront for a certain number of visits, or in this case, a certain amount of cloud usage, and you get a nice discount compared to paying the on-demand price every time.
So if you know you're going to be using a consistent amount of cloud resources, Rise can save you a bundle.
Exactly. But there's a catch. You're committing to that usage up front. If your needs change or your usage drops, you're still on the hook for those reserved instances. You could end up paying for something you're not even using.
So it's a bit of a gamble, but one that can pay off if you're confident in your usage patterns.
Precisely. Now, on the other hand, you've got savings plans. These are more like loyalty programs. You commit to spending a certain amount on cloud services over a set period, and you get a discount based on that commitment.
So it's less about specific resources and more about overall spending.
Exactly. It's a more flexible option, especially if your cloud needs are a bit unpredictable. You're not tied to specific instances or services, you're just committing to a certain spending level.
Got it. So if our hypothetical data dynamics has steady, predictable needs, our eyes might be a good fit. But if their usage fluctuates, savings plans offer more flexibility.
You're getting it. And then on top of those, you have other options like spot instances, which are like those last-minute travel deals you find online. You can snag some seriously discounted cloud resources, but there's a chance your instance could be reclaimed if the demand spikes.
Risky, but potentially very rewarding.
Exactly. It all comes down to understanding your workload, your risk tolerance, and your budget.
This is all great information. But it strikes me that optimizing cloud spend isn't just about understanding these technical nuances. It's also about having the right people and processes in place.
100%. You need buy-in and collaboration across different teams. Finance, engineering, operations, they all need to be on the same page.
It's not just a tech problem, it's a business problem.
Exactly. It's about aligning your cloud strategy with your overall business goals. And that requires communication, transparency, and a shared understanding of how cloud costs impact the bottom line.
This has been incredibly insightful. So as we wrap up, what's the key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
Cloud optimization is a journey, not a destination. It's an ongoing process of evaluating your needs, experimenting with different approaches, and continuously looking for ways to maximize the value of your cloud investments.
It's about being proactive, staying informed, and always asking yourself, how can we get the most out of our cloud resources?
Couldn't have said it better myself. And remember, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. What works for one organization might not work for another.
It's all about finding the right approach for your specific circumstances.
Absolutely.
Well, on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for listening, and be sure to join us next time as we explore even more fascinating corners of the tech world.